I mean, Amos is there, and we do a coffee exchange.
I hear it's going to start getting busier because next week we'll be in August.
Yeah,
And
it was the
it'll
August
really-
place to be. Now it's your summer place, Andy.
Yeah, but August is always the most busy
Yes.
time. Of course, we're a week away from the Whitney, but a big Jim Dandy on Saturday.
Can't wait for
we'll
that.
be on Big Fox, the major Fox network for that, from 4:30 to 6, I believe. The rest of the coverage throughout the day on the other Fox networks, but we'll be on Big Fox doing that. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing those sources square off. And to Travers prep, but it's an important race. And
Fantastic
to
race.
see where Zandon is. Hasn't run since the Derby, obviously. Epicenter, who I think is going to be a little more forward than he was in the Preakness. And I was
He almost
talking
has
about
to
it.
be.
It's so easy to understand Steve Asmussen's frustration, right? I mean, he loses the Derby to an
Impossibly.
insane horse that nobody even knew who it was. No disrespect, but frustrating. But you take it in stride because it's horse racing. And then he goes to the Preakness, and things don't go too well, and he runs second again. I can imagine most people, if you're in Steve Asmussen's shoes after the Preakness, you're thinking, I should be going for the Triple Crown, and I didn't win one of them.
Very frustrating.
I'm not saying he was best in the Preakness. I think there's an open debate.
He was
but
best
I can
in
understand.
He was best in the Derby.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. But I think it's open to debate. And regardless, if you're Steve Asmussen, you probably don't think it's open to debate, and you can't blame him. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And looking forward to those two horses renewing their. He's got two rivalries, in a way, to resume. Right? It's kind of cool. Naira Betts. If you're not a member of Naira Betts, head on over.
Why are you not a member? That's
Absolutely.
the first question you should ask yourself.
Joel Rosario is asking right there. He wants to know. Inquiring minds want to know. $200 deposit match bonus. Use the promo code TOGA200. Play through Naira Betts. Support racing in New York. We have 10 times points. It's the E day. It's sort of day 5 of the week. The 5th letter. Ellis and Emerald. Are there any other tracks that start with E?
Evangeline Downs.
Correct. Well, that was good. Evangeline Downs in Lafayette, Louisiana. Lafayette, Louisiana, which you know now, I think, as I told you this, is the childhood home of Ron Guidry.
Yes. You did tell me that a few weeks back.
What else do we have going on here, guys? Triple Play is back. How about this? 7,
8, 10.
7, 8, 10. Very, very strong sequence. Starting with the Curlin. We also have Zero Contest. You have until 5 o'clock today to sign up. Head on over to naira.com/contests. $300 buy-in, all cash and seat prizes. We also have Saratoga Live, 1 to 3 and FS2, 3 to 4:30 and 1, and 4:30 to 6:30 and 2. Okay, could go wrong there. All right. Anthony.
Andy.
Race number uno. You know, Sidekick. I'll be curious to see if Sidekick, when the money settles, is actually favored over Golden Alchemist. It's kind of a cool name, Golden Alchemist. We'll get to that. We'll take a look at Sidekick's last race. I know I liked him last time. Did you like him too that day?
I did.
Yeah. And he ran okay, but I feel like he was supposed to win this race. And how confident are we these? I mean, he could be good enough at 1.8 miles and still win off this effort, and the winner did run. You know, he really did show up that day, but I felt like he should have won this race.
Do you feel like, despite the fact that it was 9 buyer speed figures lower, he did more running in his debut than he did last time?
Yes and no, because he stretched out to 1 mile. He's probably supposed to. I don't know. You know, I think he ran a better race, and listen, he's in some ways the horse to beat in here. You've got him second. I've got him third. We'll see what price he is. And price is going to be really the guide in this race. And my horse is a ridiculously low price right now. And the two who you picked on top, Golden Alchemist, take a look at his last race. He is not going to be 9-2.
No, he is not going to. 2-1 morning line, second choice to Sidekick. He ran into a horse that was rumored to be good in St. Tappet first time out, and St. Tappet kind of ran to his billing.
Yeah, he did. He got a 93 buyer. He definitely ran to his billing.
This horse ran, I thought, really well to be second. And he's going to stretch from the 6.5 one turn to the 9 furlong 2 turn. There's always questions there. But I thought he ran well enough in his debut, and I thought he ran behind a real horse last time in St. Tappet.
No, I agree. I don't have any problem. And He's probably going to be the speed in this race.
Yeah.
So I think he's the horse to beat in here. I prefer him to Sidekick. As do you. I'm just taking another horse in this race in the number 6, Bold Looker. It's funny, that was one of the last races they ran at Churchill. It was this penultimate day at Churchill, and the last race, and McGregor and I were on. The race went off late, so we had to leave before the photo of the second came in, and I needed this horse for a lot of money for second. And fortunately, he won the photo. It's always nice when you, in that situation, you have to hit your account up to see if there's more money in it.
Greatest.
And the more money actually shows up. His first race was extremely good. You're talking about a horse that debuted late in his 2-year-old year, and he had an insane trip in that race. He was wide. He made this big middle move in the race, and that's why I liked him last time. But you do kind of wonder, is he going to improve stretching out? I mean, obviously, an Arrogate, Brian Lynch, who hasn't started many horses here, feels he's going to be better stretching out. Now, I wouldn't bet him at 3-1, and I wouldn't bet him at a similar price to the 2.
This is Andy Sterling money right now. You're on fire, my man.
It's not. Thanks, but I think David Aragona likes this horse. Mike Beer likes this horse. I think we all saw sort of the same thing.
So
he improved stretching out.
And he debuted going long. I mean, he debuted on a Stars of Tomorrow card down at Churchill Downs, and so
how many Stars of Tomorrow were in that? Do you think ran that
I don't
day?
know. So
By the way, they are like a mediocrities of Tomorrow. We run those also sometimes at the Big A.
The intent, obviously, from Jump Street was to get this horse to go long, even on the return from November.
Right.
Right. They ran him 7/8. They didn't run him in a 3/4 race. So, I would imagine Brian had a race like this in mind. These 9 furlong races up here at Saratoga. So.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I also, I don't want to completely dismiss Internal Capital, who has a pedigree to handle either surface.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question for you. The Dam finished second in what big race at Belmont Park to what horse that I'm a big fan of?
The Dam finished second.
To second, the Belle Dame 2. Forever Unbridled.
Really?
Yep.
So why did I think this mare was older?
I don't know. Maybe
Thinking
because,
of a different
because
tiger?
you're getting old.
Thanks, Andy.
That could be the problem.
Things haven't been going tough enough up here. Let's remind me that I'm getting old now.
Everybody gets older, a day older every day, Anthony. I
know how it works.
I hate
Andy.
to be the one to break the news.
I don't need
to
a
you,
reminder.
It's
Thanks.
over for me in CACA. I mean, at least you have a few years ahead of you before you completely fall apart.
Even the Mona Lisa's falling
interesting
apart,
race, and the board is going to change dramatically when we get closer to the race.
Yes,
Race
you would
number
imagine.
2 is off the turf. Ain't much going on here.
No, sir.
A little surprised that Charlie didn't leave. I felt like I should have gone 13-2 and gotten a little goofy. We both have Sanan on top and the remaining 5, the remaining Fitful 5. Go ahead.
I mean,
Don't let me steal your thunder.
Go ahead. Fresh gelding. This horse, and I guess Christophe Clement has taken the mantle from Chad Brown and trying to make Union
The
Rags
whole
a
world
turf
thinks
sire.
Union Rags a turf sire. At some point, you got
You know
to
who doesn't?
stop.
Look at his Tomlinson, Andy.
Yeah, the big Tomlinson.
183. I mean,
Yeah.
what are these guys thinking?
I don't know. The reason I do like this horse, actually, is that he has a better pedigree for dirt. Now,
Yeah.
Christophe may know that as well, and now he's running as a Bernardini mare. It's a Union Rags. I mean, it's just screaming dirt.
Right.
The Dam was a dirt horse. The foals she's had were better dirt horses. To me, this horse is supposed to be on this surface. Now,
And always begs the question, can this horse just not stand up on a main track?
maybe not, but this is quite a spot to find out.
And this cuts back to a mile, by the way, so we'll be using the Wilson chute for this race.
Yes, we will. By the way,
The lone off the turf race on the
I want
card
to bring
today.
something up now
Sure,
that we're
Andy.
talking about the Wilson shoot.
What would you like to bring up?
Before the meet started, this is going to surprise you, and it's going to surprise you as well. There was an incredible amount of whining about 2 things at Saratoga. One was the gorgeous paddock bar with a new building, which is tremendous for everybody that's seen it. It's a great, great spot. And the other is the Wilson shoot, which has gone well and completely different than what we did here 30 years ago. And the jockeys were happy when they tried and raced on it. The races have gone well. And, it's just once again, whining to whine.
Scuchamens.
But I just always like to be there to remind people about that, because I've never whined. What about the 13 in here? Phoebe's Frosty. Speed.
Supposed to be.
Well, I guess the 8 on Palm Sunday. Probably the speed in this race,
Yeah.
right?
But I would imagine that Trevor's going to be aggressive with Phoebe's Frosty.
Yeah, I'm going to use 2 and 13.
Okay.
I'm going to live and die on the hill with 2 and 13 in this race.
Okay.
It's my story, and I'm sticking with
You're a brave man.
it. I am. I admit it. Race number
you
3 is
admit
an
it.
interesting race, and there's a couple discussions to have here. But we will start out with the horse that you and I picked on top, and that is Fingal's Cave. I will let you talk about Fingal's Cave as we show the replay of our last race.
Yeah, our first 2 races have been nothing short of sensational. I mean, I know the Figs.
I would say they've been short sensational.
No,
They've been good. She's beat bad fields by a lot and gotten
Yeah,
okay
but she's
buyer
doing
bids.
it the right way, and she's. I don't know. I
Right
feel
way.
like she's improving.
What's the wrong way to do it?
She's improving
On her
with every
head?
start. These 5-horse blanket photo finishes. I mean, she's wrapped up here
Right,
from
but
the
she's
Secretary
facing-
of Pole Home. She's
She's going from
significantly.
She's going from
easier.
bottom
Yeah.
level claiming races to a stakes field in relative terms. I hope that David Donk and Jose Ortiz, and you say this a lot, and I argue with you about it. I think they just got to let it roll. Don't
question.
let the whole field get in
Don't
the
let
race.
Spiked in the race.
Don't let them all in the
Insignia-
race.
No.
You're faster than them. Use your speed as a weapon and let them come and get you.
Just go.
You know, I'm
Coming out of the
interested-
2 sprints, stretching out.
She's one of 2 things. She's either really the right horse in here or really the wrong horse.
Right. This is going to be 3-7, or this will probably be 3-7 or 7-6. She's not. I can't imagine she's
Well,
going to
you
run
don't think
second.
Spike has a chance to?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
So Insignia. Let's take a look at her last race. I gave a big speech yesterday about this race on the show, and it was funny. I was thinking about it in retrospect. I was talking to Andy Beyer this morning. All these clowns that say I'm, a slave to the Beyer figures and defending them. I ripped this figure to shreds, and you know what? I was dead wrong, because the horses that ran 1-2 in yesterday's first race came out of this race, and they basically legitimized the number. Now, there are distant also-rans didn't, but based on yesterday's result, that figure is accurate, and the figure makers that, like Time Form that had it lower, maybe they were wrong. And, I did have a lot of trouble in the number, but based on yesterday, you got to buy the number.
It holds up to the. It holds up to
really
the screen.
does.
Yeah.
And, she's a dirt horse. I mean, a distance horse, and she has that edge on Fingal's Cave. We'll see. I mean, I don't know, but I think based on yesterday's results, the buyer figure nailed it.
That's why I think it would be tough for Spike to win this race, because I think she would need both of these horses.
Yeah,
to
no,
stub their
that's
toes.
fair. That's fair. I mean, she could step forward. Aunt Naughty was terrible yesterday. Not sure why they weren't more aggressive with her, but she was awful.
She's been awful.
She was awful. I don't know that totally convicts Spike.
Kind of had enough of her too.
Right,
Right.
I agree. She's had her chances, but I guess if you look at yesterday's first, you have to say the 7 is so much more likely to win than Spike. Is there anybody else in here that
No.
you and I? That was it. It was an unequivocal no.
There's only 2 left.
Join the dots has been so disappointing.
Yeah.
She's lost to 4-5, 3-5, 6-5. Yeah,
I tried Frost Me last time. She's finishing right about now.
yeah.
So
Well, she is second off, but I agree. I'm not a big fan either. See how it plays out. We'll see if Insignia, but you and I are going to try to wire the field with Fingal's Cave. Race number 4. So I picked my man Eddie Barker because, unlike you, I'm loyal to my friends.
I got a tip on Eddie Barker walking in today. Isn't this a tough horse?
The tip on this horse?
Could you imagine 1 for 16?
Wait,
You getting a
wait,
tip?
wait.
I got a tip.
This horse is the 5-2 morning line favorite.
Yeah.
You need a
4
tip
to 1
like this
morning line.
horse?
4 to 1 morning line favorite. 1 for 16.
Not like getting a tip at Epicenter tomorrow?
Could you imagine?
Well, that's just dumb. It's not a tip.
And the guy was so excited to tell me about it.
Really?
It's amazing. Hey, I got one
I haven't
for you
seen Eddie
today.
yet at this meeting.
I got one for you today. Oh, yeah? Barker in the 4th. I was like, the allowance race? She's run like 15 times. I was 1 off. 16 times.
Could have been worse, I guess.
Please. It's going bad enough up here for me,
What?
gambling-wise. If you have tips like this, just...
Well, you're a tip vacuum.
This is ridiculous. This is
I
ridiculous,
avoid
Andy.
tips like the plague. Let's take
This
a look
is
at David on
ridiculous.
Mary's last race. I will tell you one thing. I'm shocked you didn't have this horse on top. If this horse runs her last race, she's a living cinch in here. I mean, she didn't even gun, and she's usually been a need to lead type. She ran terrific. Palace
She did.
Gossip is good. I do think that Happy Hill Lil, who I picked third, will benefit from a little less distance. But this was some effort by Blame It on Mary. She runs this race, and she's got other races to back it up. That race in September. She's not a one-hit wonder. I do think that Flip My Lid might get her chance to be the speed today, and she hasn't been able to make that speed, so I give her a chance in here, and she's my other horse. But I finally just looked and thought, why am I trying to pick against Blame It on Mary? I don't know if we'll get 4 to 1. I think we'll get closer to 5 to 2. I'm not sure that's the wrong price, but you, my friend, are going to try to beat them with
We'll try
Silken
Silken
Dollar.
Dollar, yeah, for Rick Schosberg. I like this horse's first turf race. I thought she just got a little, she got a little tired going to 7. I think the cut back to the 5.5 will help her. She gets her Lasix back. I don't think she ran that terrible behind repeat winner Dream Central last time.
Oh, she was terrible last time. Make no mistake.
I don't
No,
know if
she was terrible.
terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, terrible. She runs her last race, she'll get beaten 20.
No, I'm hoping she runs back to her maiden race and she improves a little bit. See, to me, when it's a horse like Flamin' on Mary, who I understand her turf races, she's a little bit more formful on the turf, but I'm skeptical at a short price.
Okay, that's fine. But let me say something about the 8. And listen, she's a big price, and I don't want to knock a big price. And I'm not knocking her. If you like her, you should bet her, and I hope she does well for you. But 7 furlongs in the turf allowed her to get comfortable on the front end. And it's very hard to be confident
it's a different
that she
beast
can
today. No.
rate in a race like this
Yeah.
and win against better horses than she's been running against.
But at least, like you said, I'm going to find out at 10, 12 to 1
Okay.
in a race where I don't have a lot of trust in. I mean, you don't even have Tez of Pity
Well, Tiz
anywhere.
has no chance in here. Why would I have her anywhere?
So, I mean, I don't trust the rest
What
of them.
do you like about Tiz of Pity?
I don't know. I kind of feel like she needed to race off the bench. She came back and ran okay.
No, she had a bad trip too back. And then she had a perfect trip and beat UB Dancy, who came back to win with the luckiest trip in history. She was one of the luckiest new. Okay. I thought Happy Hill Lil would run well. Saw this race a little bit differently. We'll see how it works out, but good luck with Silken Dollar at a big price.
Thank you.
Race number 5 kicks off the pick 6. We haven't had a carryover since the 2 carryovers the first, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like I've had some tough results. I mean,
Couple of real tough days, yeah.
so race number 5, we'll take a look at the favorite Sweeping Giant. And listen, I mean, if she's the horse that she was last year, he is going to sweep by this field. But I got to tell you, I don't like this drop for Todd Pletcher one bit.
No, sir.
I mean, this horse is running second to run against a limited liability. Beat this horse first time. Limited liability is a very nice horse. This is the second. I mean, maybe you lose to Tom Amos, you start feeling like your horse is a claimer, but this horse ran well in both the turf starts. Okay, fell apart in the stake last year, but my gosh, this is a tough drop for me to stomach.
Tough drop.
Right?
Yeah, this is a tough drop. So it's probably going to go to a new home today.
Yes.
I would imagine
this is a maiden claimer.
One of the attempts. This horse
going to your
new
house,
home.
you think? After?
Not me.
Heading over?
No.
Dinner?
No. I don't claim off Todd Pletcher. I like money.
So, yeah. So you're taking Al Stahl, who had they knew of the meet yesterday with that 5.5 furlong sprint winner. Have at it.
Yeah, first time this horse is going to get to run third time on a form cycle. First 2 races, I thought were okay at the fairgrounds. Came back last time on the funky course at Churchill. Got the blinkers on.
Anthony, this is a switch to Joel Rosario bet.
And it's a switch to Joel Rosario. Yeah,
Cut
but
the
I mean,
nonsense.
listen, this
That's
is
fine.
just
I got no problem with that.
This is not just a blind switch. This is a horse where
It's a big switch.
If you're skeptical of Sweeping Giant, like we both are, the rider switch is big, and quite frankly, of the horses that have run on the turf, isn't he the horse to beat?
I mean,
If you
besides
take
the
Sweeping
10.
Giant out?
Besides the
Yeah.
10. Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah, no, I've got him 4th, and I picked 2 fuzzies at him, so
Right.
I'm not going to, obviously, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't have a big problem. I don't like the winner of the last race came back. I think it ran lousy, but the number's probably legitimate looking through. Horse hasn't done a lot of running in his races, and that's what I don't like, but I don't disagree. He can win here. As far as Sabreri, he could have.
Sabari?
I wish he had gotten second last time. I just want to be clear on that. I really.
You know why he didn't, right? He ran out of training. Right-handed.
He ran because every horse I bet at that period of time. Look, this horse have a number of good turf horses, and 4 out of 10 from the dam. Some very solid horse. You know, this horse I have to also. A horse that my good friend Nick Zito trained, Doc Cheney.
Yeah.
After
I saw
Doc
that this
Cheney,
morning.
yeah. And I say something. This horse improved dramatically for Ray first
really
time out
did.
on the dirt, and is now going to surface that Ray obviously intelligently entered him. So I'm going to bet Sabreri.
You just pay Ray 2 compliments in 1 sentence?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about Ray. I didn't see him last night. He wasn't haunting any of the restaurants or spots that
That's
I was
good.
in. Yeah, I was glad about that because it's getting a little tiresome. Also, Blueberry.
I love blueberries. You?
Oh, yeah. I had blueberries with my breakfast this morning. Oh, every morning, blueberries. I know it's a Calumet homebred, big blue kitten, but there's a lot of turf. There's nothing in the first generation, but the second generation is big-time European turf, damn. So I'm going to use that horse as well.
Sure.
That's one of my favorite stories about Chad Brown. Big Blue Kitten, who was, I think, a multiple Grade 1 winner.
Yeah.
I said to Chad once, I said, yeah, you ran him in a maiden claiming race to begin his career. He goes, no, I ran him in 3 claiming races to begin his career.
I think he won like a 2 life
Yeah.
at one point.
Won the UN, maybe? He's a good horse. Router.
He won the Arlington Million, didn't he?
Did he? Big Blue Kitten?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you're wrong, but maybe I'm just wrong. Anyway, we're going to take a break and plug our brains back in. Oh, look, Bobby's here. Hi, Bobby. Good to see you. We'll be back after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
One of the many nice things about Saratoga is seeing your old friends. So my friend Bobby DePasquale, who I've been seeing since the 70s, since I got here. And yeah, I see a lot of people I met when I was a kid here, and everybody comes back to Saratoga every year.
It's great.
Great things about Saratoga. No,
Yeah.
you see friends. My friend Bob Zancali.
Seeing old
here.
friends and making new friends.
Yeah, no, it's the best. It is the best. So the hunch bet of the year is in race number 6, correct?
Of course. Why you put the horse? And you put the horse second.
I had to put, because I love Ray Liotta. Just passed away. I imagine they named this horse after he passed away. I think everybody talks about him in Goodfellas, and he was great in a lot of movies. I think of him in Something Wild, and that's really the movie. That's the role that got him the role as Henry Hill. I think De Niro. There was something I was reading that De Niro
Something
said
Wild.
something to Scorsese and said he was incredible in that. Incredible.
That was a big year for him. Field of Dreams and Goodfellas.
Yeah.
You know what the biggest mistake in Field of Dreams is? Talking about this with my father last night. Schuler's Joe is hitting from the wrong side of the plate.
Wow.
Because Ray Liotta could not learn to hit from the other side of the plate.
Now you're knocking the guy. He's dead.
I'm just
Really.
just telling you what
You're
happened.
Such a bad guy. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. This horse has very little more turf pedigree. It's funny that Rosario showed up in this horse. So I threw him in. It's just But there's some word on some firsters, and I think the 2 horses that are getting the most word are the 7 and 10. But we are going to start with a couple horses that raced, and that is 10 Cent Town and Quick Chaos, 2 of the 5 horses coming out of that race. And I'm going to tell you, I like horses with experience, but I didn't think anybody ran well in this race at all. I didn't see a single horse in this race that I thought that horse had enough trouble or felt confident that horse would run better. I don't know if you disagree, but I did not see anyone in here I wanted. It was a scatter shot behind the winner.
I didn't see your. I put the 2 firsters 1-2 that have some buzz. I don't. Do you? Out of this race, I would much prefer Quick Chaos over 10 Cent 2 Cent.
I think I have Quick Chaos 4th. He's the only one I used from that race.
Yeah, I'd much prefer Quick Chaos.
Because we're a full-service operation around here, we will show you the 2-year-old sales video for Acoustic Avenue, the son of Rock Avenue Road, and, of course, McLean's Music. This guy seemed fast, and he's working well for Dean Reeves and Patty Reeves. So I took this one. You took Team Hanley, original owners of the
Bobby
mighty
the Tank.
Lady Eli.
Yep.
This horse worked 10 and a 5th, but I actually thought it worked okay.
I was told Bobby the Tank can run.
Okay. Well,
So Bobby the Tank goes on top.
okay. I have it 7, 6, 10. But obviously I've heard that both the 7 and 10 can run. Anybody else to talk about here?
No, that's it.
That's all? You're done?
You know when Ray Liotta did the voiceover stuff for Goodfellas, he had to have somebody sitting directly in front of him. He couldn't. They tried to do it with him just doing it into a microphone.
Did he have to do this for all the voiceovers he did for every movie?
I would imagine. I would imagine.
Race number 7 is the Curlin.
Looking forward to this one.
You saw the first 2 finish this race going to Travers last year, and Miles D ran 2nd, finished 3rd, and Dynamic 101's turned into one of the top, older horses in the country.
Work
right now.
this morning. He's got 3 more works before an
Jockey
engagement
Club.
with the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Yeah, he's a nice horse. He's a nice horse. He ran well. That was a good race. That Suburban was a fun race. We kind of agree in this race. In fact,
do.
pretty much completely agree in here. I'm going to start with Creative Minister. And I don't have an issue with Creative Minister. He can win. He's the most exposed horse in the race. I thought he ran very well in this race. He ran well in the Preakness. And he just ran out of gas in the Belmont. He couldn't get it. He moved it towards the stretch like I thought I might have picked the right horse. And he just could not get the distance.
There was a lot to do in a short amount of time, too. From a maiden on March 5th, didn't even break his maiden on March 5th. He was unveiled on March 5th to being the 4th choice in the Belmont Stakes on June 11th, with a solid third-place finish in the Preakness in between. I think it was a lot to ask. He gets 6 weeks now, but my question is that enough?
I don't worry about those things.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I also wonder, though, if he'll be that. See, I don't agree with David that he's going to be a significantly shorter price than the 8 and 9. Too many of us like the 8 and 9. I think the prices are going to be very similar. David's usually right, but I don't know. You really think he's going to be 2-1 favorite
I'm going to tell
here?
you what the problem is. The problem is
they're not stake-faced, and he is?
That's number one. Number two, are the 5 inside horses really going to take any money?
Yeah, well, some of them, yeah. Gilded Age
I don't
will
know
take a
about
little bit.
I don't
Well,
know
you haven't
about
even
that.
brought up. I mean, I know you have Gilded Age 4th, but your man Bill
his only
Mott,
ma-
it's his
it's his
birthday
only- it's his
today.
only horse.
He scratched the other horse. He's
His
got
only
this one, and you
horse.
put him 4th.
What
And
about-
that's going to earn you a couple of demerits on the Bill Mott suck-up.
No, I think we're good.
Really, I'm going to speak to Bill about this. You think you're good. I'm going to
think
speak to
we're
Bill about it, because if I
Okay.
were him, I'd have a problem with it. Western River, not totally impossible. I know it was a mile and a half last time, but he's an improving horse. Fruity Brissett, who had that 2-year-old that won here the
Yeah.
other day.
He'll be scratching, obviously,
I understand
out of the Jim Dandy
that
tomorrow.
the 8 and 9, one's a maiden winner, the other one's coming to allowance at Monmouth. They're also Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher. And all due respect to Ken McPeak, he does not take money. Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher
You
do.
might be right.
So
you might
that's
be
why
right.
I would have had the spread lesser. Now we will go to Arturius, who we both have second in here. Listen, they beat Win It, the horse who came back to beat Shug's horse in the first race and run impressively. They beat Sidekick last time.
Yep.
He's a good horse. And I'm going to say that Chad ran Miles D in this race out of a maiden win last year. Is that correct?
I believe he did. He broke his maiden in a one-turn mile,
Yep.
I want to say, at Belmont Park and ran a
Mile or mile 16.
mile or mile 16.
One of them, I'm not sure. You might be right, it's a mile. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a good horse. I don't have any issue with this horse. Gasoline ran poorly that next time, but he just seemed to not run.
Listen,
His tank was empty.
They beat.
I just thought that would get that in there.
Wow. They beat Win
You're
It
just
by.
jealous that you didn't
They
come with
beat
that
Win It
first.
by a
You're
half a
just
dozen.
jealous,
They
admit
beat
it.
Win It by a half a dozen lengths. I'm not going to hold Gasoline's race against them.
Well, I mean, you could also use Win It to compliment him.
Correct.
So it's a.
Right. I'd rather look at the glass half full when it comes to this.
I think
effort.
he's good. He did not draw well.
He did not draw well.
And neither did our horse.
For a horse that saved a bunch of ground and was able to make a move up the inside last time, and now he's stuck in post 8 with the scratch, he did not draw well. But we'll see if his talent can overcome the draw.
Chad Brown
Neither
not
did that be
likely
better.
to be this aggressive if he didn't think he was doing really well. So he'll probably run well. But I like Be Better like you. We'll take a look at his race at Monmouth. I'll let you talk about him.
Couple of 2-turn races under his belt. That's big for me, as this is a 2-turn, 9 furlongs. He sits, he stalks, and he pounces. And Luis Saez, less of an issue with the draw for him, and it's not just a one stall over. He has a little more tactical speed. And I would imagine from here that AP Secret's going to go, Make It Big's going to go, and I would think Louis is just going to try and follow them in. Now, I know it's a short run
No,
to the
AP
first
Secret's
turn.
going to be in front in a slow pace.
Oh, you see, I would imagine that Make It
I know
Big
you
is-
imagine there aren't slow paces, but there always
Well,
are.
I would imagine that Make It Big is going to be forward for a multitude of reasons. It's going to help
I don't
his
think he's gonna
cause.
be, he's not that fast. We'll see. I mean, Louis going to get position on the outside. Listen, he got a perfect trip last time, but he ran very, very well. That was a very good race. And Horsey Beat came back to win at 6 furlongs on a turn back and improve the Buyer figure 2 points. But looking at the figure, it makes perfect sense. And, the only race that he lost to Jack Christopher. So this comes out of Jack Christopher's maiden race. And, wins easily going long off the long layoff, comes back and improves on the effort.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a real up-and-comer.
No, he's a good horse.
We'll see what kind of position he can get. We'll see what he can do in there. I don't know. He's not super fast, but we'll see if Louis can get decent position in this race, because that's important. Coming from post 7, you got to leave, and you got to be aggressive to get there.
The fact that he had more speed than Artorias was the decision maker for me.
It's not. He doesn't really have more speed than Arturius, but okay. the pace figures have Artorias faster. So just so you know, it's marginally faster. But this race was won on this race fell apart, completely fell apart last year, but it also had a contentious pace. This pace is a little bit murky, and I think that hurts Gilded Age. We'll look at his last race last time when he came from the absolute clouds to win this race.
But he got an incinerated pace to run
He
into.
did. And the second horse broke it open and opened that big lead in the stretch. And if you bet the second horse, you're still crying.
You're
He
talking
came and
yourself
got him.
about Brigadier General in here. No question about it.
Yeah, he was. Was that Dallas? That was a West Point horse, right?
West Point, yeah.
Yeah. That was a
I
brutal.
wonder where he is. I'm surprised not to see him in here.
Who, Dallas or the horse?
The horse.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen Dallas either. Is he here?
I have not seen Dallas.
Yeah. Well, he's probably Ben and Jerry's. But I tell you what, Bill Mott's birthday, you got him fourth.
What?
You are the worst. I'm kidding.
Man,
This
take
is
another
it.
lap.
This is it. When's the last time Bill won a race in his birthday, I wonder? He had a good run for a while, right?
He had a real good run for a while. He's probably won more on his birthday than he's lost.
He's had a pretty good run in his career, too.
Yeah, he's won a few races.
What a nice day it is today. Race number 8. So we both have Fauci.
I stole your horse.
That's fine. He's way the horse to beat. Problem is he's a short price today. And
How short do you think he's going to be? Andy?
7 to 2, 3 to 1. Well, it depends on something that we'll get to. We can watch Fauci's last race. He was an hour and a half the best in there.
Hour and a half.
The winner got away with Murr in the front end. He had traffic, and he almost won.
Came back to win. We knocked him
winner-
right in the winner's circle last time.
He ran, what is the name, City Limits?
Artemis City Limits.
Arlen City Limits ran so much better last time he's ever run before.
Not even funny.
If he can run that kind of race, he could really move up and do something.
Yep.
I mean, he has been as faint-hearted as a horse could be. He ran last time. He got lucky here, but he ran last time.
Last time he ran.
This horse is consistent. He's good. 5.5 fits him. He just seems like the horse to beat. I'm curious. Why do you have the 1 second, Lyrical Poet? Because he can't win on paper.
I didn't hear what you said. Say that one more time.
Why do you have Lyrical Poet second? He can't win on paper. I'm curious. There's
Well,
a
I just
point to
figured
this
that he'll be forward enough.
Well, much better. It's very fast.
No. He won't be. I feel like he's the first one to inherit much better. If you don't like much better, and I don't.
So what?
I think he gets the jump on some of these horses in the 5.5. It's not like there's a ton of speed in here. So
Well, I mean,
there's
the
not a
10
ton of it, Andy.
The 10's pretty quick. The 11's pretty quick. The 11 got a horrible ride last time.
I think he's in the right spot.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that there's an enormous story on this horse, and he's
Really?
going to take a ton of money today.
I did not have a story.
Yeah. He's apparently outworked Golden, what's his name?
Golden Pal?
or he's working
Wow.
very favorably with Golden Pal.
No clue.
So he's going to get bet in here, and Irad's riding him. Irad always rides him, but Irad's riding him. So if I had to do over again, I would probably put him somewhere in there. I don't like him at all. I don't believe there's any chance he could win based on any race he's ever run. But he might be doing really well up here. We'll see. But he apparently is working extremely well. Let's throw Dancing Buck. He's a little, to me, he could be the edge in here. He ran a 90 buyer. He's got Joel. He's going to take money. And it feels as though he has no chance whatsoever to win this race. I know he's won rating before, but his best efforts is when he's able to walk on
Yeah.
the lead like he did last time. And he's not getting anywhere near the lead unless about 5 of them fall into a hole coming out of the gate.
No, I don't disagree, but he has won rating before.
Yeah, but that was not a race that gives him any chance here.
No.
Yeah, I do not like this horse. I do think that Anaconda's a little bit interesting. I'm not sure 5.5's the right distance. Horse didn't do a lot of running last time. I get a chance. I also think that Bold Emotion, that Jose needs to be aggressive. Now, the problem with this horse is when he's been effective, he's been on fairly moderate relative paces. But and maybe he gets it here. Jose needs to be aggressive with this horse and get him out because if he's effective, he's forward. And
He's gotta be
He's
forward.
got races that actually give him a real chance here. So I was going to throw him in a little bit. But I'm interested.
And he has races here that give him a real chance here. So, but he's got to be forward. If they're going to lollygag out of there,
No, he has to go. He
Yeah,
can't make
he's
the
gotta be
mistake
aggressive.
that the rider made at Monmouth last time. He's got to be aggressive with this horse. So we will see what happens. In the race, we both like Fauci. Race number 9. I think we agree on race number 9.
We do.
I mean, I'm kind of a coin flip between the 3 and 9. I really would take
saw the
whichever
race
was a
the
better
same.
price. We'll show the replay of the race they come out of. I do think that Baltazar ran the better race because he was always in the teeth of the pace. The pace got a little bit hot, relatively speaking. So I thought he ran the best race that day. Funny joke, was kind of lucky to beat them. Life Changer ran well, but Life Changer's getting the rider change to Joel Rosario, which doesn't hurt. They feel like the right 2 horses to me.
Yeah, I thought maybe the rider change on the hill could get him.
Yeah, except Heeman Harkey gave this horse about as good a ride as you can give him. I don't know if there's anything that Luis Saez can do that Heeman Harkey didn't do. I understand Luis Saez is a fundamentally better rider, and Heeman knows that.
So that's
he got a great ride from Heeman last time.
And just because they're making a rider change doesn't necessarily mean the last rider did anything wrong. I don't think he did either, but you have a far more accomplished rider
Luis
and a
Saez,
stronger rider.
you're going to replace Heeman Harkey with him.
Right.
That's the facts of life. Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, it really hasn't worked that much. It really hasn't.
Well, there's the rider change in the next race that we'll talk about that with a little bit. Right. I've got the horse third. I obviously didn't disagree, but I think it's very 3 and 9.
Okay.
I would lean heavily on the 3 and 9. You think the 5 is a little bit closer than I do. Race number 10.
La Finale.
What'd you do here?
Went to the 6.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all over the place here.
I'm
going to try Stella Mars on the stretch out. This
never works.
This was a very reluctant pick. This horse's one try going long was followed up by the turf 4.5-month layoff.
It's also an Aqueduct in almost December.
It was, but it was one of the faster figs she'd run. And Joel climbed the board last time. He's ridden it 3 times now. She finished second in all 3.
There's also a problem with her last race. Her last race is a complete phony because that race just completely and totally incinerated. And it really made the closers look like they ran a lot better than they did.
I'm going to try her stretching out at a middling price.
Okay. Good luck.
I had a tough time with this race. Plus, you know me, once it gets to the 10th race,
the races are tough. I mean,
it's a tough race.
There's not a lot of races here. You're not supposed to, as a handicapper, have a tough time with them. But that's the nature of the game, and that's why the racing here is so interesting. I just thought Built Different might be better than these horses. She comes out of a much, much better race, and a race that was falling apart. I know she wasn't down on the inside, but I don't think she ran that badly on that weird turf course at that time. And I just thought she might be the best horse in the race. So I put her on top because I can't put Rosemary Potatoes on top. And we'll show you. I can't.
I met Jose this morning.
Jose.
D'Angelo.
D'Angelo. Oh,
First trainer I saw today. So there you go.
There you go. That must have been exciting for him to meet a celebrity like you. So I bet Rosemary Potatoes in this race. And she was 15 to 1, and it was one of the ridiculous overlays I've ever seen. I bet her because she was on the bad inside in her prior race. She should have won this race by, 2-3 lengths. The only person I felt worse for than me was her trainer, Marcelo Arenas.
It's his birthday today.
Is it?
Yes.
Happy birthday. And maybe she'll get a better trip. She was DQ'd from third, frustration move. She got buried. Eric obviously shouldn't have dropped her down to the inside. He should have waited in the 2-path a little bit and given her options, but he tried inside and it blew up in his face. She should have won last time. It was a much, much weaker field than she's facing today, but she should have won last time. The problem is I don't really think she's going to be the 10 to 1 that David has because everybody knows the trouble trip
She's
she had
going to be a
last
shorter
time.
price. She's going to get bet on. And
It's a tougher field. She's going to be half the price at best in a tougher field. I picked her second. I wouldn't let her beat me, but I missed my chance with her. I want to mention some other horses
No
here.
fault of your own.
No, it just happens. I want to mention Sholin.
Shaolin.
There's a half to 2 turf winners. I had 3 to try it. Upstart does not do a lot for me as a turf sire, but is Joe Sharp, so I threw that horse in somewhere. More Mango, Nick Tamaro was pointing out, and this is a big switch to Lee Saez as well. Now, I'm not sure how much this horse wants to go this far, and she is coming out of a pitifully bad field. But it is, you're talking about the Heeman Harkey switch. And listen, Gary Rich gave this horse a great ride 2-back. But still, this is a pretty substantial rider switch. I don't think it should be completely.
Probably don't want to go this far, but I agree.
It should be good. And I also want to mention that Runaway Rocket gets in because this is her first race for Tom Morley on the turf. And she won off the claim on the dirt, but I think she's probably a better turf horse. So I think that she should be mentioned because she'll get lost a little bit getting it off the also.
I'll throw her in.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting race to close it out. They are tough. I mean, that's the beauty of Saratoga. There, it's an incredible handicapping challenge. And, you know, if you haven't been embarrassed in Saratoga as a horse player, then you aren't really a horse player, because everybody gets embarrassed in Saratoga more often than not. It's very tough, but that's why it's so much fun. It's the challenge for handicappers. But as Harvey Pack said one day, people say that Sarah's a graveyard of favorites. Harvey said, Saratoga is the graveyard of bad handicappers. And he made a lot of funny lines, but that was one that I'll never forget. Anyway, I'll never forget our good friend Harvey Pack. Naira bets. Saratoga Naira bets. Get that picture of Joel up. $200 deposit match.
You
bonus.
love this picture.
Well, it's just, you know, we had Javier at Belmont. Toga 200. Use the promo code Toga 200. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Go to NairaBets.com.
Big Blue Kitten second in the Arlington Million.
Oh, so you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Stop bragging. Second, who beat him?
Dan Silver didn't tell me.
Chad Brown probably beat him, somebody else. 10 times points. Ellis and Emerald. Double E. Evangeline. We're running by the other track star with an E.
Evangeline. I don't know if I got another one for you.
I don't know either.
Ellis,
All right.
Emerald, Evangeline.
I've been to neither of those tracks. I'd like to go to Ellis. I'm sorry I missed Longacres. So what else do we have? We have the Triple Play. What did we say it was? 7,
8, 10.
7, 8, 10? Big fields. Big fields for all those races. The special $3 minimum. Triple Play. Ooh, Naira.com / Triple Play. You know, that's a webpage I've not been to, Anthony. I had a new frontiers await me. $300 buy-in, all cash prize. You got until 5 o'clock today. Get on board. Fun to play. We got the big contest here 2 weeks for 4-star Dave, too. $3,000 contest.
The Pizza Man.
The Pizza Man beat him. Wow, the local favorite. And last but not least, get this down, 1 to 3, FS2, 3 to 4:30, FS1, 4:30 to 6:30 on 2, America's Day at the Races.
Nope.
Saratoga Live.
Saratoga Live.
I know. Somewhere else. Start calling it Saratoga Live and get back to Belmont. Or we'll be back to Aqueduct, as we announced. We will be
You couldn't
returning
even get
to
the venue
Aqueduct.
right.
Can't even.
Can we get the show right? I think we're done.
Okay. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure serving
Wow,
you.
a pleasure.
John Imbrial, the voice of New York racing, he will be up with a reprise of Scratches and Changes in just a few minutes. Enjoy an absolutely spectacular day here at Saratoga.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy great New York craft beer, cider, wine, and spirits at the Taste New York Pavilion, located inside Gate A at the top of the Strat.